Ann Coulter's name was already in headlines before the debate was even confirmed. For weeks, she had been making the media rounds, sharpening her talking points, tossing grenades at anyone in her path, and promising that the upcoming CNN special would beat the end of Jasmine Crockett's short political career. Cable news ate it up. Conservative outlets framed it as a prize fight, splashing graphics of Coulter's trademark smirk alongside Crockett's poised congressional portrait. Liberal pundits bristled, warning that Coulter was an ambush artist who thrived in chaos. Twitter threads multiplied, arguments broke out in Facebook groups, and even late night hosts cracked jokes about pay-per-view politics. For Ann Coulter, this was familiar territory. She had built her career on provocation, never afraid to go too far, never apologizing, always keeping the cameras pointed at her. Her strategy was simple: dominate the conversation, make her opponent lose composure, and walk away with the most viral soundbite. She'd done it to seasoned senators, college professors, and veteran anchors. A freshman congresswoman from Texas, in Coulter's mind, this was a warm-up. But Jasmine Crockett wasn't walking into this blind. 3 days before the debate, she locked herself in a quiet conference room with her tight-knit team. The blinds were drawn, phones silenced. They studied Coulter's entire media history like detectives piecing together a case file. Every interview, every book excerpt, every hot take that had aged poorly. They flagged contradictions, false claims, and moments where Coulter's own words could be turned against her. Crockett didn't raise her voice once during those sessions. She sat at the head of the table, legal pad in hand, jotting down notes in her sharp, looping handwriting. Every so often, she'd ask her staff to replay a clip. She wasn't just memorizing facts, she was studying Coulter's cadence, her timing, the way she tilted her head before delivering a barb. She feeds off interruption. One aide said, "If you jump in too early, you'll look rattled. Let her go, then cut in clean. She's going to hit you with the unqualified thing right away." Another warned, "I know." Crockett replied without looking up, "And I'm going to make her regret it." Meanwhile, the political world circled like sharks. In Washington, some Democrats were quietly nervous. Coulter's platform was massive, and a bad performance could hand the right a viral clip they'd replay for years. On the other side, Republicans were gleefully anticipating what they called Coulter's coronation. Conservative PAC had already drafted fundraising emails celebrating a victory that hadn't happened yet. The night before the debate, Crockett stayed in her D.C. apartment. No public appearances, no late-night TV warm-ups. She sat alone on her couch, a stack of note cards beside her, and rehearsed answers out loud until her voice went hoarse. Every answer had to be airtight, no wasted words, no stumbles. Across the city, Coulter was at a private dinner with donors and media allies, laughing loudly, basking in the energy of the room. She didn't prepare in the traditional sense. Coulter thrived on improvisation, on sniffing out weakness in real time and pouncing. To her, preparation was the enemy of authenticity. CNN, sensing ratings gold, promoted the special relentlessly. The teaser trailer alone pulled in millions of views. In it, the camera panned across the empty debate stage, the lights dim except for 2 spotlights on the chairs where Coulter and Crockett would sit. A voiceover promised the conversation America's been waiting for. By the morning of the broadcast, the network's headquarters buzzed with electricity. Producers darted back and forth, sound techs checked microphones, and interns carried stacks of briefing notes. Security was tighter than usual, with private guards positioned at every entrance. Even the green rooms were stocked differently, Coulter's with sparkling water and salted almonds, Crockett's with herbal tea and honey. Outside, a small crowd had gathered. Supporters of both women waved signs, chanted slogans, and shouted over each other as camera crews captured the scene. The air was thick with August heat, and every few minutes, another black SUV would pull up, spilling out more staffers, journalists, and political operatives. Inside, deep in the labyrinth of hallways that led to the studio, Jasmine Crockett adjusted her jacket in front of a mirror. She wore a tailored navy suit, the kind that said professional but not stiff. Her makeup was minimal, her expression calm. She took a slow breath, eyes fixed on her reflection. "You ready?" Her communications director asked quietly. Crockett's lips curved into a faint, knowing smile. She's been playing this game for decades. she said, "but tonight I'm going to change the rules." Somewhere down the hall, Ann Coulter was making her entrance, heels clicking, voice carrying as she exchanged jokes with a producer. Both women were walking toward the same room, the same stage, the same collision course. By the time the clock ticked toward showtime, every seat in the studio was filled. Camera operators gave their final checks, the host ran through the opening lines, and the director's voice crackled over the intercom. "All right, people, we're live in 60 seconds. Let's make history."